morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. Good morning on this beautiful fall morning. And now Gladiator Guru is enjoying the autumn because she is in the Northeast. So I'll let her tell you about that in a moment. But good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Lori Monaco, the Badass Buddha. I am your chiropractic physician, weight loss specialist, teacher, speaker, coach, specializing in wellness, transformation, and authenticity. So good morning. And Gladiator Guru is frozen already. That's not good. We just started our broadcast and she's frozen already. All right then. Am I frozen as well? Oh, she knocked off. She's going to be so thrilled when she gets back on because she got knocked off. She's going to be all pissed off. So good morning, and make sure you let us know where you are from in the comments section. So Iritza, good morning. Yes, good morning, beautiful ladies. Gladiator Guru fell off for a moment, but she's going to come back on. So good morning, Iritza. You're the first one on this morning. And so we're happy to have you. So yes, it's a beautiful Tuesday. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Hopefully Gladiator Guru will be jumping back on very quickly so she can jump in and talk about her trip up here, because Gladiator Guru is in New England. She is in Connecticut. So she's going to be here for, I believe, till the first week of November. Lots and lots of stuff going on. We have... what do we have? She and I have, we have Augusta Tu Corona. That's what she is, one of the fabulous reinas that are co-hosting. And we're going to have the group from Augusta Tu Corona on Thursday morning talking about the their upcoming event and how you can get tickets. And it's a phenomenal event. You don't want to miss it. And it's in person, which we get so few of those. And it's so fabulous that it's going to be in person. And so we're looking forward to that. And what else? She has her granddaughter's birthday party, which is Halloween. And then she's going to, I think, leave just right after that. So there she is.
You know what? I'm up in the hills and shouting, so I'm going to be in and out. So I apologize for that.
All right. Your turn to introduce yourself. I stalled as long as I could.
Hola, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita, your Gladiator Guru. And yes, I am in Connecticut. It was very cold for me this morning. Can't believe I survived this so many years here. But I was cold. It was kind of cold. But here we are. I'm happy to be back home. It's always home. I've been gone 15 years, but this is still home no matter where you go, right? To me. So yes, I am your sacred healer, your spiritual and creative healing life coach, your end-of-life doula, your writer, your author, your artist. I am your notary, your ordained minister, and your wedding officiant. Yes, and more to come. No wonder I'm forgetful and going crazy. But yes, this is me. In all my glory, buenos dias, namaste.
So I just realized we weren't on Facebook. I just noticed. I'm like, why can't I find the video?
And I couldn't find it. That's why you see how I put on YouTube.
On here because I didn't add Facebook. Facebook's funny. You have to add it a week before the broadcast. YouTube, you could schedule out for like 6 months. So we are on now. So we're fine with that now. So good morning for those. I'm like wondering, like, where the hell is everybody? Because usually people are popping on, and then I didn't notice the video. So my apologies for that. So hopefully we will see the video very shortly. It should be coming on because we should be live right now. So oh my gosh. So I started to tell, there we go. There's Linda McBee. Good morning, Linda. So we know we're on Facebook now. Sorry about that. My bad.
Tiffany, good morning, Tiffany.
Tiffany's on. All right. So I'm still not seeing us. I'm not seeing us. All right. Well, we're obviously on because Tiffany and Linda McBee are seeing us. So that's great.
Yeah, I'm on.
I started to talk to everybody about how you're up here. When are you leaving? I know I was telling them that you have Augusta Tu Corona on the 29th. And we're going to have the other two lovely Queens coming on Thursday to talk about it and how you could still get tickets. Then you have your granddaughter's birthday party on the 31st. And then you leave when? When do you leave?
I will leave like the first week of November. So I'm here for a minute.
On the 31st. You're here till when? Do you know?
Yeah, probably the end of the first week of November to like maybe the 12th.
Oh, so you're here like a whole month. Oh,
Mhm.
fabulous. That's wonderful. Oh, so that means you'll be here when we launch the book. So when we have the book launch, you'll be still up in the Northeast. The book launch is November 9th.
Oh, yep, I will be here.
That's great. And speaking of book launches, Dr. Melissa, who's our guest today, is also in the book as well. So that's very exciting to have. And this isn't a first time authorship for her. It is for me, and it's not for Gladiator Guru either. So yes, welcome to the Northeast for those of you that are visiting, and for those of you that are from here but have lived down south for so long. So you said you still had to get used to it, but you said you love the fall though, right?
Yeah, yes. It was nippy. I mean, I've been here since Saturday morning. And it's still 90 degrees in Florida. So it wasn't so bad. Or I didn't get up that early since I've been here. I didn't get up at 6:45 on Sunday or yesterday. So today it's like it slapped me on the ass cheek, the cold this morning. And it was like, ooh, nippy. But I'm grateful I get to wear my scarves. I'm grateful. I always love this time of year.
I love it. We've had the weather's been really nice. We did have a little bit of rain the other day, but it's really been a really sunny autumn so far, and it's like perfect for this time of the year to go do the apple picking, and then all the pumpkin picking and all that beautiful stuff. So good. And I can't wait to see you. So we're going to have to be broadcasting in person at least a couple of times. So that's exciting. It's always exciting. And I cleaned my office, so that's even more exciting. So yeah, good
Yes,
morning, Francia. Happy Tuesday to you as well.
I am. And your favorite name is on. I don't want to say it for you.
Oh, Arika's on?
Uh-huh.
See, now I'm not seeing everybody. Yeah,
Hmm.
Moyeto's on. Good morning,
Good
Moyeto.
morning, brother. Yes,
Um,
and then Saturday I'll be in Salem, and I want to go visit apothecaries up there, and I'll feel at home up in
you'll be in
Salem,
Salem, New York, or Salem, Massachusetts?
Salem, Mass.
Oh, you're going. So are you going for the day?
Yeah, my sister and her family, my brother Moyeto and his family, and I don't know if my sister Connie's coming, so that has to be. But
It's crowded this time of the year.
they're going Friday night. But I think my sister, Beatty, if you're listening, my sister wants to go out Friday night dancing. So if she goes out dancing Friday night, then we'll drive up Saturday morning. So that's the plan right now.
Yeah, this time of the year is very busy for Salem, Massachusetts, because for those of you that are not familiar with Salem, Massachusetts is known as the area where they did all the witch trials. So that's the history behind that. And so this time of the year, especially at Halloween, they get really, really busy with tourists. They're touristy all year round, but this is the big one. So you're going to have a lot of people up there. That's exciting. I've never been. I've always wanted to go. Have you ever been before?
No. Mm-mm. So I was excited when they said they were going, because they went last year and it was the same thing. Like you said, they had a park like 4 blocks away. It was crowded, and they visit the haunted houses. I really don't care about that. I just want to go into all the apothecaries and and just feel the energy up there. That's what's exciting me.
What are you going to come back with? So you're gonna come back with potions. The bruja is going to come back with potions.
I really want to visit like the herbalist and stuff like that, for teas, for natural loose leaf teas.
All right.
So that's my goal right there.
That's wonderful. Oh
Hmm.
my God, you gotta take lots of pictures, be wonderful to see. I like I said, I've always wanted to go. I've never had an interest in going this time of the year because it's always so crowded. I don't really like lots and lots of crowds like that, but, that's very cool. So good, you're gonna have a great time. What else? What did you do this weekend? I know you did something special to celebrate,
Yeah.
honor your mom.
Sunday was my mom's birthday. And it was like the weather was kind of, but when we put my sisters and I, it was just us three. We put more ashes in the stems of some flowers from Janet's garden. So it was all from here. Um, and then we went towards the lighthouse in Seaside Park.
Oh,
And on one side, the waves were like really, you know, showing their presence. And then on the other side, the water really wasn't moving. So my sister
amazing.
Connie and I threw our flowers. Like we tried to catch the wave on its way out, but by the time we threw it with the wind and the flower fell, the waves came in, so it went all up against the rocks. And Janice like, "This is gonna get stuck." And I said, "The purpose is the paper towel dissolves with the ashes, and it'll go back down to sea." So we're watching, and then Janet was like, "Forget this." She walked over the rocks to the other side and threw it, and hers just drifted away all calmly and gracefully and shit. So Connie's like, we up, and Connie's like, "Well, Margie and I threw it from the beginning of our memories when mom's life was chaotic. So we threw that into the
I
waves."
was just that's what I was just gonna say. It's good representation.
Yeah, and then Janice was like, do, 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 oblivious to anything she went. And then we made a video when we were about to release the balloon.
Yeah, I saw, right.
And you can hear all the wind. And then, I hinted to them, like, bring it in. So you see Janet, we crack up because in the video, it seems like Janet grabbed Connie's hand and shoved it to her, and the balloon like covered her whole face. And then as soon as we let it go, it like whew, went away. But it was just Janet and Connie were holding hands, and the balloon was going everywhere. So when Janet went to bring it, it was just funny. We had a good time in mommy's memory. And then we went out and had salads in her name, and that was it. But it was raining on our way there, and I was like, "We're gonna get wet because we're gonna do this." And but when we got to the end of the park, it wasn't even a drizzle. So I
Well,
was happy we got to do that on her birthday. The first birthday after anyone passes is, in my experience, with my dad. My dad, we buried him um, July 2nd, and that Saturday, July 7th, would have been his 60th birthday.
God, so
So
young.
that was a blow. And then Eric passed away in March, but November was his first birthday, you know, away. And then mom passed away in March, and her birthday was this, October. So it's always, to me, in my experience, the first birthdays after someone passes, a loved one passes, is always like the most difficult.
Hmm.
The most difficult. You can't call them and say happy birthday. You can't.
Well, I think the first anything, right? So, like, if you come from a family where I remember when my grandmother passed away, my grandmother was the matriarch, typical Italian family, and so Christmas was a big holiday, and so my grandmother passed away, um, the beginning of November, so then we had to get so Thanksgiving was a big holiday, so Thanksgiving was tough, Christmas was even tougher, and and then her birthday was in January, so then that hit. This is like boom, boom, boom. And yeah, it is. It really is. It's hard to um look who's on. Jonathan came on. Jonathan Cruz. We haven't seen you in a while. We're happy to see you.
Cookie.
He said good morning, sexy mamas. I'll take it.
Ah,
I'll take it.
I am it. What? So,
Works for me.
but
And
yeah, like,
Milagros, good morning, Milagros.
hola, Milagro, buenos días. Like in November 14 is Eric's birthday, which is soon. And then November 27 is my birthday and what would have been our 11th wedding anniversary.
Hmm.
So November, it's going to be interesting to see how I've grown, how I've transitioned, how well I have learned myself enough not to be grief stricken, but filled with joy that I have memories, which meant I lived a happy life. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how far I've come. How's that?
Good. Yeah, you've come an amazing. It's you've had a lot of growth and a lot of release this year, more so than anything. So, good morning, Ana Laura is on. And
Ana Laura.
so, what are you drinking? And let's get into our intention and mantra so we could get our guest on. So, what you drinking
I
this
am
morning?
drinking Chew today. Chew monk fruit packets, monk fruit sweetener packets, and black cafe bustelo.
Cafe Bustelo. All right. And I'm drinking Fuel, the unleaded version still. I'm still trying really hard to calm myself down so I'm sleeping better, and I don't know if the decaf is necessarily making that much of a difference. I don't know. But it's still good. It's real tasty coffee. For black coffee, it's pretty good. So and the intention and the mantra today. So you have the mantra, I have the
The
intention.
mantra
So
today is very simple and is what we are talking about. Each day I become better, braver, and bolder.
each day I become better, braver, and bolder. The 3 Bs.
Mhm.
Better, braver, bolder. All right. That sounds good. Good morning, Henny. Henny's on.
Ah,
And then the intention for today is the intention you're going to set for today is today I will make great choices to support my health and well-being. Today I will make great choices to support my health and well-being. And what a better way to start than to have our fabulous guest who's going to help us out today. For those of you that were on the evening show on Friday night, Viva Moms After Dark, you would have heard Dr. Melissa come on that evening and talk a little bit about what she does. And for those of you that did not, she's going to repeat what she does, and she's going to get into more detail now um, about what pills are you popping, because that's the name of our topic today. So let me just give you a brief overview bio of Dr. Melissa. So Dr. Melissa Balizan has a passion for health and working with clients who are looking for better choices. As an author and speaker, she educates on women's health, self-care, and stress management, showing you have a voice and a choice when it comes to your health. As a consultant and concierge pharmacist, she serves as an advocate for your health and medicine needs with 21 years of healthcare experience, combining Eastern and Western medicine. Her focus is serving others by empowering them to optimize their health. Dr. Melissa looks at the whole picture of health, physical, mental, and spiritual, while walking alongside you on your health journey. Primary focus is on making a difference in your life, one simple step at a time, so that you can have a better quality of life. Dr. Melissa is an expert in women's health, stress management, anxiety reduction, depression, and pain management. She uses her pharmaceutical training and knowledge of medication, supplements, nutrition, physical and mental health as she guides you on your health journey. She empowers women to make informed health decisions, allowing them to have a voice and a choice. The reduction of the prevalent and chronic conditions has enhanced the lifespan of many of her clients. So, without further ado, and good morning, Liza Tuck. We're happy to have you here. We'll bring on Dr. Melissa. There she is. Good
morning.
morning. And what a trooper. She is in Arizona. And for those of you that know anything about Arizona, you know they do not change their time. So she is on Pacific time. So it is 5:19 in the morning over there. So we're very happy that you're here, Dr. Melissa.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Buenos dias.
So what makes you different than the typical pharmacist that we like? We'll go to CVS, or what sets you apart?
So, I think what sets me apart is I have the ability to spend more time with my clients because the typical pharmacist behind the counter, they are pushed to by volume to get so many prescriptions out. And so that's number one. Number two is that I've taken it upon myself to educate myself a lot in the Eastern practice of supplements and knowing what supplements interact with your medications and what medications interact with your other medications. So, not that the pharmacist behind the counter doesn't know that, but they may not have the time to sit there and go through all of your medications and your supplements with you, whereas I have the ability to do that and sit with you, because so many things that you can just pick up at the apothecary shop or at the local whatever herb shop. They
GNC.
interact with your other supplements, and they can interact with your other medications. And so I heard, you were talking about going up to the apothecary, and the apothecary, that's the original name for a pharmacist.
Yes.
And so I think this is a great, a great day for you to be talking about that, because I am your non-traditional apothecary, allowing me to, really listen to you and see what you're taking and what is the best solution for you.
And not everybody has a doctorate, right? Like not every pharmacist out there has a doctorate. So
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. So that's great. So what pills are you popping? Why is that such a great title? What does that mean?
What pills are you popping? Because what are you? I mean, what do you put in your mouth is, I think, so important. Some of us just take things we don't even know because our physician prescribed it. We just take it. You don't even know why you're taking it. So what pills are you popping just brings to mind, makes you ask why. Why are you doing it? Are you taking something just to treat a symptom, which is what most medications and supplements do? So I think that it's important for you to ask yourself, what are you popping and why?
Why is that? Like, why is it that that we don't know? What's the problem with that? Where's the disconnect?
I think the disconnect is that so many times when you do go in to see your physician, you expect a prescription. That's our standard of care. You go in, you expect to get something in receipt. So you expect to get a prescription, and your physician is going to do in your best interest to give you the best thing that they know to give you to treat your symptom that you came in for. And while that may not be the best solution for you, your physician is going to, with their knowledge, going to give you the best solution that they have in mind for you. And then you go to the pharmacy and you get it filled, and you don't really think to ask the question, well, is there something better? Is there an alternative? Is there something different that I could do? Whether that's a supplement, whether that's a lifestyle change, whether that's an alternative Eastern medicine practice. Sometimes you have to do a lot of research and dive in and figure out what is the best thing for you, because so many different things can be treated so many different ways. And Eastern and Western medicine, I believe, there's a time and a place for both. And I've said that multiple times. I think our Western medicine, our acute care, emergency care is great. But when it does come to chronic conditions, there are so many things that we could do with lifestyle changes and nutrition and movement and mindset that could have impacted us. 94% of chronic conditions or 94% of first-time heart attacks could have been prevented with lifestyle changes.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. Years ago, there was an article that came out, and they had discovered an island with natives on the island. And on this island, these individuals had absolutely zero cardiovascular disease. There was no diabetes. They didn't even have acne. And what they did was these individuals ate solely whatever was on the land, and they knew nothing of processed food. They knew nothing of anything like that. Anyway, they had very minimal contact with outside. So then there were those people that said, oh, well, but these people, it's probably their genetics, right? So what they did was they did, good research. They tested their genetics, and they found that the genetics of these individuals were from all over the world. That what happened over the years was people would come from, other areas and stay on the island and procreate. And so it was an amalgam. So when we sit there and say, oh, well, you're genetically predisposed because you're from this and this is your background, blah, 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 they couldn't use that as the excuse, saying these individuals didn't have the genetics, because they did. And the only logical explanation was the foods that they were eating or they weren't eating. Plus, they never exercised. So a lot of people are going to be, oh, good, I don't exercise, that's good for me. Let's rephrase. They moved. though. They didn't have gyms. They didn't do any of that. There had very little transportation on the island and what was there was more manual. So they were either walking, riding a bike. And so they did a lot of physical activity. So those two things kept them very, very healthy, And then I thought to myself, and now that we know where the island is, as soon as the McDonald's gets put there, that's going to be it for those people. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But that's what the medicine is for, though. The medicine is for those of us out there that refuse to make the lifestyle changes. And that as a result, we have to take the medication for it for the most part. There's certain things that are not lifestyle necessarily related, but the vast majority of heart disease is the number one the problem in this country. I mean, that's as far as disease goes. So let everybody know, let the tribe know how much pharmaceutical education medical doctors get in med school.
So fun fact, your physician on average has about 600 hours of pharmacy training in medical school. That's about one semester. And your pharmacist goes to school for a lot longer than that. They typically have 12,000 to 15,000 hours of pharmaceutical training. So it's a little bit different. And so your pharmacist really is your medication expert. And so they're the ones that you should be asking your medication questions to. It's not that you don't need to distrust your physician. You just need to ask questions so that you're informed and educated of yourself.
And where do a lot of these medical doctors, we're not bashing medical doctors here. We're just stating the facts, like that this is stuff that you need to know. Where do they get most of their education from for the medicines they're prescribing?
From the pharmaceutical reps that walk in the door who have an MBA or something.
Yep. And that right there is disturbing. And here's the other disturbing part is that how often do these medical doctors not communicate with each other with regards to, so like if you have a specialist and they prescribe a medication versus the PCP that prescribed medication, how often do they communicate with one another?
Oh, not very often at all. Very, 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 very rarely do they ever communicate with one another. And so you often because it's the day and age, we go to a specialist for everything. You go in to see your general practitioner and you get referred to 5 specialists for the 5 different things that you have wrong. And so now you're seeing 6 physicians or more, and each one of those physicians, they do their own little thing. They focus on that one area. They treat that particular patch of your body, and they put a Band-Aid on it. And then you walk away with 6 or 7 different Band-Aids. They don't talk to each other. And then all of a sudden you have all of these prescriptions or pills or things to do, and they may interact with each other. They probably don't all play well together. That's often happens. And so for you to be safe, it's important that you try to go to at least one pharmacy. So if you're going to the same pharmacy to get all your prescriptions filled, then at least that pharmacist can check your prescription medications against each other to make sure that all of your different physicians, what they're giving you, aren't interacting. But there's still things that can happen. 2.1 million adverse effects happen every year from prescription medications. That's a lot. And we often don't know what's happening. I had a client come to me, and I was talking to her the other day, and when she came to me, she had been on a medication for 3.5 years, and nobody in 3.5 years had told her that this medication was the one that was making her stomach upset, making her feel bad. I mean, she felt terrible, and nobody could figure that out. 3.5 years, that is not something you should have to put up with. That's just horrendous. And so those are things that, based upon questions and things, we can drill down and we can figure out, okay, what is number one? My thing is to get to the root cause of the problem. And that could be the root cause of, that medication was causing a problem. Now we've peeled back that, then we have to figure out, then we get down to fixing the root cause of the problem that the medication was placed over to Band-Aid. But 3.5 years, you should never have to put up with anything that long.
But we do, because we tolerate things. We assume that they have more education and that they know what they're doing. Part of it is, but we can't take full, listen, you can't also take full responsibility on the medical doctor. It is up to us to question things. It's up to us to look things up. All of those medications come with inserts that say the side effects, but we choose not to read them and ignore them. Of course, they're about this big, so it's like really hard to see them. But you can go online to the website and see it bigger and better, and you could read it. And you can always ask your pharmacist if they are busy on a particular, like certain times. You call them up and ask them, "Hey, can I ask you a question on this?" I remember my dad's been on heart medications for as long as I can remember, and he had something where he needed to go on an NSAID, so it's a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, and it was prescription. And so what happened was the doctor gave him a refill as needed. This is what the doctor said, as needed. But my father is just, he takes so many pills. So when he starts to run out, he's like, oh, I have to refill. So he saw that one on there, right? So I went to go pick the prescription up for him. This was several years ago. I happened to be going to the food store, and I'm like, Dad, I'll pick up your prescriptions. And the pharmacist stopped me and said, listen, I didn't fill your dad's this prescription. I filled the other ones. He's like, because does he need this? Because he was only supposed to take this until, only as needed for X amount of days. And really, he's not supposed to be taking this anyway, but for a short period of time, it wasn't that big of a deal. And I looked, and I knew anyway, because I had studied this. And believe me, I don't know a lot, because chiropractors know nothing about medications. They act like they do, but they really don't. But I just knew what I knew, like enough, and I said, oh my God, that's true. I said, no, he wouldn't need that anymore. He was taking it for every specific thing. He doesn't need it anymore. So when I went home, I said, Dad, you don't need this. Like, you didn't need to get this filled. He's like, oh, but it said I had a refill. I said, but had a refill if you needed it. This is something that interacts. And if it were not for that pharmacist, I wasn't paying attention because he called it in. I just picked it up for him. But if it had not been for the pharmacist to say something, my father would have been taking it. And those are not good to take again, for long periods of time when you have heart, other heart medications that you're taking. So I was really grateful to that pharmacist. And I was grateful to the fact that that particular pharmacy is slow, not slow all the time, but they're there. They will answer questions. I went into one the other day into CVS, and they wouldn't even pick up the phone. Like they don't even, the phone was ringing and ringing. I had to ask them a question, and the phone was ringing, and they didn't even pick up the phone. So
it's insane. I mean, it is busy. It's an environment that's busy. And yes, so I'm grateful that pharmacist caught that, because that's true. And a lot of things will be caught, but then it's that busyness, you call and you may not be able to get them on the phone because they're very busy. There's a lot of prescriptions out there. Just to give you another number, 4.5 billion prescriptions to be exact were filled last year, and 195 million of us take at least one prescription.
Think about the money in that. When they sit there and say, oh, you could get it for free, or, there's nothing is ever free. I'm going to tell you that right now. There is cost to everything. Somebody's paying somewhere for something. So that's something that you have to definitely consider. Gladiator Guru, you're awfully quiet. Do you want to add? No. Come on, baby. Come on, talk to us.
Well, I'm not medicinal. Grew up where my husband, for his ALS, was given a number of medications, but he refused to take them because he was an alcohol and drug abuse counselor for many years. And even though he had an end date with his ALS, he still said, I'm not becoming addictive to anything. Mm-hmm. So I think he took one medication out of the 6 they wanted to give him. They even wanted him to get the one that prolonged your life for 3 extra months, but it's just ridiculous. So yeah, and then my mom, who's been on medication prescriptions for as long as I can remember, when I started taking care of her, I started reducing the intake of meds for her. But it is, and people need, you're absolutely right. You don't need to have a medical background. You don't need to know a pharmacist, or what you need to be is ridiculously curious about your life
Yes, proactive.
and what you're putting into it. So be curious, ask the questions. If people think, oh, here she goes again, then ask 2 more questions just to fucking stick it in them. But ask questions and learn about what you're putting into your life, because we only have one body that's supposed to carry us till our last breath. And people are just saying, well, the doctor put me on this and he put me on that, and oh my God, I feel anxiety, let me pop a pill. And it becomes second nature to breathing, popping these pills. And I'm not medicinal, and I'm very much against that. So yeah, I'm just listening and learning.
Well, and it's a program, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, over the last X amount of years, remember years ago, the TV and magazines were not allowed to advertise pharmaceuticals. That was
And
the
now it's
rule.
every other commercial. Tell your
yeah.
doctor, not even, the
Yes.
doctor said,
Ask your doctor for this.
yeah,
Ask
tell
your
your doctor
for
you
this.
want to try this. Ask your
Right.
doctor if he has this. And I'm like, and it's just been going on, and that's just another brain fuck system that they have. So you get an
Right.
ailment, all of a sudden you're a hypochondriac. Oh my God, I have that symptom. I heard on the news, after the news this morning. Let me call my doctor. And that's what we're creating.
Yes.
Remember the movie Bandits with Bruce Willis and what's the other guy that Angelina Jolie was married to? Oh, I love him.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And everything he heard about somebody having an ailment, and he'll come back and goes, I think I have that. And people like that. And so and I guess the voice, Melissa, your voice, hopefully the tribe listening in will share this, because they don't hear this side of it enough.
And the other piece of that, so even supplements. So let's talk about supplements out there, because yes, you need to be educated, you need to be proactive, whether you're being put on prescription medications or you're trying to supplement on your own, because 64% of Americans supplement. Now, supplements don't necessarily, they could be just another pill you're popping as well, because I lump them into pills. There is so many different things with supplements out there. They're not regulated, so everybody thinks they have the best, and I can tell you that's not true. Mm-mm. There's very, very few out there that are actually legit. They have what they say they have in them. They don't have contaminants in them. And so just because your neighbor says it's good for them doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Totally agree.
And so, I think that's the challenge too, is that we are looking for alternatives. I think deep down, a lot of people do feel uncomfortable taking so many pharmaceuticals. So they want to go for the natural. And you have to understand too, that natural can also be harmful too. Just the word natural doesn't mean, that it's okay. You could take as much as you want. I mean, you have to, like, even certain vitamins, you have to be very careful on your dosage. But like cyanide's natural, right? I mean, like that's arsenic is natural. You can't. So think of it in those terms. And while you can argue and say, well, homeopaths use arsenic and cyanide, but you can't go by that. I mean, we're talking, and they do it in a very specific way. It's like minuscule amounts, but even then and I don't think they use cyanide, they use arsenic, but what I'm saying is that you have to look at it that way, that just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's not going to be harmful.
But when you say natural, what are you talking about? Going to
herbs, supplements, like that.
But supplements, you're still talking pill form.
No.
It could be pill, no? It could be liquid, it could be herbs itself.
That's
right?
What I deem natural, is the actual herb itself. Teas.
No, it means however it comes. Anything that you would get, quote, in a health food store is considered a natural supplement.
I know, but what I'm saying is anything that's in a pill form, in a bottle, it's not natural. There's still some mechanisms that went into place to form this into a pill for you to easily swallow. That's what I'm saying. From my perspective, I don't consider that to be natural. It's still a freaking pill. Those
But I think the
supplements,
fast,
those
I
vitamin
think,
D's. No, there's always ways to go about it. But again, the laziness, the not just leaving it for someone else to create something for me. I think that's where we have gotten in this
it's a,
nation. Just so I think there's other ways. Vitamin D, there's other ways you get it, but still people are everything is easy. Reach for a bottle on a shelf, go to the pharmacy, go to your doctors. That's where my thing and medicinal, um, for whatever reason, comes into
yeah,
play.
you're saying that even natural supplements, you don't want anything like a pill, potion, or lotion. Like you minimize anything, whether it's pharmaceutical grade, like from a pharmaceutical company, or a supplementation place. Like you don't across the board, right? And I'm that way as well. I don't feel the need to have to take those supplements as well. So Editha wrote, okay, but my hot flashes are real. Edith, I'm going to tell you something. You know what the
Those give
research
you
has
more
shown?
hot flashes.
But you know what research has shown is that hot flashes are really lessen your sugar intake. That sugar really adds to menopausal and perimenopausal symptoms. So you have to really look at your sugar intake. And if you say, I don't take that much sugar, and you have to, I'm going to probably call you out on that and say, if you have to pay attention to it, because I bet you're taking more sugar than you think, and it really does make a difference. There's another question too, or comment that I wanted to make here. So had a great doctor, my homie, Dr. Schmidt, always told me, listen to your body. If something is off or just not right, bring it up. That's right. Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. Hard to find these helpful doctors. Yes. This one I wanted to bring up to
Ana
you.
Laura's, right?
Yes. Yeah. So check this out. Chronic condition, Chiari malformation, which absolutely blows, by the way. TMJ, chronic migraines, IBS with chronic constipation. And I started with all natural, but now I can't. I have into Ajovy injections and Nurtec. So is she saying that the natural stuff is contraindicated for the medications that she's taking, Dr. Melissa?
I would have to know more details. I'm not positive what she's saying on that.
I think she's saying she went the natural route, but it didn't work. So now she has to take those shots.
Yes. And
it depended upon, there's a lot of different things out there that the natural route, as I said earlier, not everything is created equally. So depending upon what she started, if she started, let's give an example. Let's just say oregano, because I'm just going to pull that out. Oregano is not created equally. Whether you take oregano, fresh oregano, dried oregano, however you get it, is not created equally, because there's different things based upon how it's grown, based upon how it's sourced, based upon how you consume it. That oregano is considered a natural thing. We use it in our food. We use it for treating certain ailments or helping to minimize certain conditions of ailments. So natural could mean different things. So she could have started on a natural path, but not necessarily have been even on good quality natural things. I don't know. I'd have to have a lot more details.
And speaking of details, that's actually what Dr. Melissa does. Dr. Melissa has a program where she, that was a good segue, by the way. She has a program that she can analyze, she has a conversation with you. She can analyze what you're taking, and really like work through it. She's gotten people off reduced their medication intake. She's got them feeling much better because as a result. So tell about some of the great stuff that you've done with your clients.
Sure. So I have a program where it's called it's a therapeutic, it's a personalized therapeutic plan. And what I do is I've worked with my clients to help them to understand and make better choices, to understand and get to the root cause of the problem. So we drill down and figure out what is the root cause. And I've had people come into me with 13 medications, and over time, now this does not happen overnight, so it takes time. But during the term of 3 to 6 months, we start reducing those medications. We start adding in and capitalizing on some lifestyle things, nutrition and movement and different things like that. And we got her down to, she's on 7 medications now, a couple of supplements. She's doing much better. She's feeling better, and she's actually feeling like she can live her life better now. I've had some people come to me solely on supplements and wanted to make sure. One came to me, she was on 14 supplements. And she said, I don't take any prescription medications. I'm not into that. Just kind of like you Gladiator. But she was taking a lot of natural things. And so we went through and I weeded out. I weeded out a whole bunch of things based upon getting down to the root cause of what she really needed. And now she does take 9. We decided on 9 things that were essential for her to still take in order to get the nutrients and the vitamins into her body. But she was able to get rid of, 5 of those, save some money because she's not spending that money every month. And those are just a couple examples. I was talking to a gal yesterday, and I said this before, and I say, you only get one body, you only have one health. And this client told me yesterday, and she said, and she was in her, she was 65. She told me, she says, way back, we always thought it was great to get the most trendy thing, to be the most hip, to do all this. And we had to have that. And she said, you know what? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong to take all of these medications? And she said, if I had known better, this is the one thing I do regret, is that I didn't take care of my health sooner, that I wanted to be fashionable and I wanted to do this and be hip. And if I had have taken some time to be proactive, I wouldn't be in this pickle right now. And so that's one thing she does. She regrets, and it's not too late for her. We're working on making some changes, but if she had started a little bit sooner, then she wouldn't be in the pickle that she's in now.
Okay, you talk about Eastern and Western medicines. What's your take on? It was right here. Hold on one moment, please.
Stick your tongue out. Let me see if we can read it. Acupuncture.
So acupuncture, I think, is a great choice depending upon your thought process. So your belief. So things will work if you believe in them.
Generally, yes.
Generally, let's say it. So you can't. So acupuncture is a great choice for certain things. Acupuncture is very good. It's one of those Eastern Chinese medicine things. And it can be great for pain. It can be great for releasing some emotions. But the thing is if you yourself, you're recommended to try acupuncture, and you have it where you said, there's no way this is going to work, then there's less chance that it's going to work. Now, if you have an open mind to something, then there might be a possibility that acupuncture is going to help you with whatever condition that you went there for it.
Yeah, it's anything. It's even with the pill. There's a Spanish song that says, La cura es más mala que la enfermedad, which says the cure is worse than the disease.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So I think anything, if you're popping a Xanax, if you're popping anything, you already believe that that's going to work for you because the doctor prescribed it for you. And you could be taking a sugar pill and you're going to feel great because that's what you believe. And I think anything you go into that's going to be a benefit to you, we have to keep that positive mentality that it's going to work. I think if you read up on acupuncture, like I'm talking about from the Joseon dynasty, there was the doctor, I can't remember his name, and that's what the acupuncturists followed ever since then. And then, of course, they want to Americanize it and Westernize it and tweak it and do it differently. But I think that if you're afraid of needles, I wanted to try it on Eric, and he let me do it once, but he freaked out over the needles. But I think, yes, you have to believe in something. And if you're tired of doing this, then figure it out. It's your life. You don't have to listen to the guy in the white coat or the female in the white coat because they got a little degree hanging on their wall. See what fits you, because what fits me is not going to fit you, Dr. Melissa. It's not going to fit you, Badass Buddha. It's all different. you know? So I think this is phenomenal what you're talking about. People need to wake up and realize that what is best for me. And it's you being in their ear now, where they're going to be a little more. They're probably, and I'm hoping that they do, is when this show finishes, they're going to go into their medicine cabinet and start reading up on their shit. Because if you believe that you're going to get better, if you believe, like hot flashes, I'm what, 4.5 years into my menopause. Perimenopause, I thought was going to be the death of me. I literally wanted to cut myself and rip out of my skin so I can breathe. And I never took anything for it. But then that's me, because I'm a badass. I'm the gladiator guru, right? No, all joking aside, I never took anything for it. I would fan myself. I would go in the shower. I'll tell people, leave me the fuck alone. I'm going through a moment. And that's what got me through my days. But again, everybody's different. But you got to believe that everything you need is already either within you or around you. And that's my take. And no disrespect to the medical field or anything, but that's what I believe. You're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, take your shoes off, go walk in the dirt. Let the grass tickle your toes. Go hug a tree. It might seem simple, but it makes me happy. I'm just being the devil's advocate here, because that's how I am. And I've taken care of people who had to take medications, and it's still the way I feel.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I always say, as a chiropractor, we don't prescribe. And so what we often hear is the individual will come to us as the last resort. They have a herniated disc, or they have some sort of back pain that they've tried all the medications. And now the doctor's saying, well, you're going to have to live with the pain. Or if it's a herniated disc, we're going to do the surgery. And they're like, this is my last hope. I don't want to get the surgery. I don't want to live with this pain. And then they get the work done. And does it help all the time? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm a big advocate of not just chiropractic, but body work. Like the muscles are attached to those bones. So you need massage therapy. You know, I think acupuncture, massage therapy, chiropractic, I always say exhaust all options. Go with physical stuff. I had a patient years ago. She came in for an auto accident. And she said to me, she goes, when they gave me the option to come to a chiropractor, I said, I'm going to go to the chiropractor, because I was at the ER and I specifically told the doctor, please do not give me any pain medication. I am a recovering addict, and I do not want them I don't even want to have them in my hand or a prescription. Please don't give it to me. She said, they said, okay, no problem, wrote some stuff down, but they finished checking her. And then as they were getting ready for her to go, they gave her prescription for her pain medication, and they gave her some samples. And she was like, oh my, and there she sat. She goes, I sat there with it in my hand, and I said to myself, oh my God, I can easily take this right now. She goes, I walked out of that room, threw it in the garbage, and left. And I said, I don't want any of that stuff. That's why she came to the chiropractor. But that took really some serious, with the strength that she had to do that. Whereas who else would have done that? They would have been like, oh my God, this is fantastic. Or you come home with it and somebody in the household finds the pills and grabs a hold of them. We have these epidemics the way we do because we're so loose about this. There's an expectation too. I think you brought this up, Gladiator Guru, on Friday night's conversation, or maybe it was Dr. Melissa, where we go to the doctor, and if we walk out with no medication, we feel like we've got gypped.
Like we didn't have an orgasm during that intercourse.
Right. Yeah. Yes. You went there. Nice. What did I pay for? I paid for them to look at me, and I didn't come out with anything. You have to get rid of that mentality. Mm-hmm. Truly have to get rid of that mentality.
They didn't fix me. I went over here, and they didn't fix me. And yes, there's a lot of people. Dr. Melissa did mention that, and we agreed with her, because it is just so true. It is so true. So I think that we need to keep this going. I believe is imperative for many people. And when you don't see that person you knew that threw away that medication, that was probably like something easy and difficult at the same time. It's that Jekyll and Hyde, like keep it, no, throw it away, keep it. And to know that going to the chiropractor. And yeah, I think that medicine is vital for many people.
Yes.
People have to be on medication.
Yes.
I just think follow Dr. Melissa's advice and find out if that medication is good for your DNA. Does it match? Is it going to have all of the side effects noted on the paper that we don't read? Or is it going to have a few that you can deal with? You can deal with diarrhea. It's going to clean your intestines. So, hey, go for it. But so it's like,
Temporarily speaking, yes.
how many side effects are you going to have? If in doubt, but you need the medication, then try it for what? What's the trial period to see if the medication is doing you more damage than harm?
It depends upon the medication. So it could be anywhere from hours to days, depending upon the medication. So, okay. But I do want to mention, because I have another client story. I work with a lot of, I also have a program with recovery addiction. And you talked about, that gal who was sitting there, and that happens so often because your physician may not realize, even if you tell them, they may not realize. I had a physician who prescribed a benzodiazepine to an alcoholic, and the patient was very upfront with the physician that says, I drink every single day, noted in her chart. And then she had some anxiety and she was given a benzodiazepine. That is a huge no-no, because that is another chance for addiction. That is a big drug interaction with the alcohol. And so that was a huge thing that had to be stopped. And in order to get that stopped, had to make a call to the physician. But that was something that physicians don't always realize, all of the drug interactions or the side effects that can happen with the medication, because they have limited information, limited not knowledge, but limited information on what that medication can do or what it can interact with. And so those are some things, especially on a recovery addiction program, if they are so far into that and they're doing so well, and then they get that because they had an accident, that's unfortunate that the ER, in your case, still give it. And then my client, that the physician prescribed it. I mean, that's just, it's sad is what it is.
Yeah, that's not right. And I think you're giving them a little bit of wiggle room to say, well, I think they should know that certain things. I really think they should step up and question more. And part of it is they're double booked. They don't have a lot of time, but I don't know, with all the tech that we have, you would think that there would be an app or something that when the doctor puts in, or the computer program, that when the doctor puts in, this is the prescription that I am giving them, it will pop up some screen that says, this is a known, do you know that this is whatever. And there's got to be something out there that exists. And that is, but it's two-way though. See,
50-50. I was just going to say,
been blaming the doctor.
Responsibility.
Yeah, we've been blaming the doctor, but we also have to take responsibility too. Like we can't sit there and say, and I've seen this on my intakes, like I'll put, are you taking any medications? I don't prescribe anything, but I still want to know. And then I have to put including supplements, because people will say, oh, I'm not taking any medication. And then they'll be like, and then I'll go over and say, you're not taking, no, I don't take any medication. Do you take birth control? Oh, yeah. Okay. That's a medication. Do you take hormone replacement therapy? Oh, yeah. Okay. That's a medication. Are you taking any supplements? Well, I take a multivitamin. There you go. Oh, but that's not medication. It's the same. There's things that can interact. And so we have to take our responsibility as well to make sure that we list everything, that we don't hold back. So we can't completely blame the doctor, but when it is in that, like those two examples, that one I gave and the one you gave, that was the doctor's fault. I'm sorry, but it was. Another time I went to my PCP. I met the lady one time. She's my PCP. I never go to her because my plan never required me to have a referral. So I just do my own thing. And then when I know it gets to a certain level, I call the specialist myself. But I told her in a conversation, I said, yeah, I'm a little stressed out. She goes, really? You have stress? I said, well, yeah, I mean, I'm running a full-time practice. I teach 2 nights a week. I have a 1-year-old that I care for at the office with me. I mean, I'm stressed. And she's like, oh, okay. She goes, here. And she writes me a prescription for Valium without even like asking if I wanted the prescription. First of all, then I'm thinking, what era is this? Like Valium? Is this the 70s? Could I have a martini with this? And like, you know, after work.
To the movie with Goldie Hawn and Richard Burton. Come on, you have to think. I'm putting an age on me right now.
Which one is that one with Richard
where
Burton?
she took so much Valium when she went out with his parents that she just passed out into her tuna salad, her chicken salad? Yeah, so that's what I always think of Valium, like it's gonna knock you on your ass. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's it. But and yeah, you know what else too? And Chanel also is mentioning, this is something we didn't mention, OTC, over the counter. We were talking about supplements, we were talking about prescription medications, but we also didn't include OTC. And now we're out of time, but over the counter medications. And so let's plug Dr. Melissa. So for those of you that are still on, and for those of you that are coming on after the live broadcast, Dr. Melissa does, you know, she can evaluate you. She can get in there and go over what you're taking and help you come off or lower those medications if that is something that you are interested in, right? So, right, they just go to your website, Dr. Melissa?
Yep, they can go to my website, and there's opportunity to book a call with me, to see some information. I have a program called From Prescription to Holistic Wellbeing. They can look at that. They can look at my whole body health program. Yes, there's different ways to contact me off my website.
Good.
That's awesome. But you're bringing all that, and I did, as my eczema is itching. So I do take medication, Dr. Melissa. I take eczema ointment that has steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had eczema since birth. You know, some people are so blessed that it just fades away by the time they're 3. Not I. So yeah.
And see, there you go. You would forget to tell the doctor. The other thing too, people to remember, is topical does not mean that it's not, it
goes
can't
right
interact
into
and
my
can't
pores.
cause issues.
It's
you know?
absorbed.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes right into my.
So just keep that in mind. And look, Liza's already asking. She wants me to text her your website, so we will do that. So, Dr. Melissa, we thank you so much for coming on, and we hope everybody out there really like gets on her website, checks her out. This is a big thing, you know. I mean, it's good to have somebody on your side to help you, and you have to be honest with her and your own pharmacist to say, I started taking these things. You know, sometimes we don't want to say because we don't want to get yelled at, but this is about your health, and you don't want, you know, I'm a big advocate of emergency medicine. But because most of the time they're coming in with very minimal information and doing the best job that they can do. And especially if we're not forthcoming with some of the information, if we are verbal. So this is, you know, you have to take your responsibility for yourself, but also make them accountable. Make your doctor accountable, ask questions, annoy them. Who the hell cares? That's what they're there for. And ask your pharmacist, and they will give you the straight answer. And then you can always go back to your medical doctor with the information from the pharmacist.
And you start off with asking yourself, do I want to live a fulfilled life with movement or not? And then start doing your own research so that when you do attend that pharmacist, he's not as intimidating behind that counter. And that's the one thing I recommend. People are intimidated by people in their white coat or behind the counter. Do some of your research on the medicine you're taking and then say, this is all I take. What do you think? Do it. Do it. That 30 minutes will probably add, 10 years to your life.
Yes, absolutely.
I hope I'm not exaggerating, but that's what I believe. Take that time in the beginning so that the end, you're just enjoying it.
Any last words, Dr. Melissa, before we go?
Remember, you only get one body. It's your health. You get to choose what to do with it.
There you go. Beautifully said. So we have a couple of people that were wanting your link. I just put it in the chat as well, so they can click on it. But I will send it out to Jonathan. If you don't get it off of here, just message us. And Liza, I can text it to you. But damn, Liza, you can write it down like you're there. Write it down, for God's sakes, She's
rubbing somebody's back.
Oh, you think that's what it is? Okay, maybe. She's listening to us while she's giving a massage. I feel sorry for the people that's All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Melissa, for coming on. It's been wonderful having you. And we were blessed to have you twice. And looking forward to Dr. Melissa is part of the book that we're launching, Her Badass Story, on November 9th. So it's going to be a fabulous compilation of phenomenally charged, empowering stories of women's trauma to triumph to transformation. So we hope that you will be a participant in purchasing that. And so any last thing, Gladiator Guru, before we go?
No, just invest in yourself in every area. Invest the time, invest the knowledge, invest the curiosity.
Wonderful.
And that's it. Invest in you.
All right. And on Thursday's show, we will have the trilogy from Augusta Tu Corona, including Gladiator Guru, Lilian Maldonado, and Francia Rodriguez, to talk about the upcoming event. And our guest on Thursday is Lisa Potter, talking about sexy life insurance. So hopefully everyone will tune in from start to finish on Thursday. And remember to share, like, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. Facebook, YouTube. Let the world know how fabulous Viva Cafe con Leche is. I almost said from the Gladiator Guru. I was taking you. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit.
Namaste, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.